call us, text us. Kaieteur Radio 99.1, 99.5 FM, the Wake Up Guyana Show. Yes, good afternoon. Welcome once again to the Wake Up Guyana Show. I'm your host, Leonard Gildarie, and let's slow it up a little. Let us breathe a little there. It is one day before Yom Nabi, and it's always good to have a national holiday. You know, you take a breather, get yourself rejuvenated, and get back to work. It has been such a tough year, hasn't it? And I'm back. I had a very busy meeting. I can't believe that there's so many people on the road. It was just about 12 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Normally see a lull in the traffic along the East Bank there. What you saw today was something else, traffic backed up in all directions. Just too many people on the road doing things maybe ahead of the Yom Nabi. It's a Muslim holiday tomorrow, October the 29th. And so, what I'm going to say to you, we are not going to take a break. We are going to continue. Tomorrow, we're going to be joining you. We're going to, step it down a little, keep your company, chit chat a little, just keep ourselves very positive on a day that is held very sacred by the Muslim community across Guyana. So wherever you are today, I want to say welcome. You tuned in to Kaieteur Radio here, 99.1. If you're in Esquibo or Demerara, and if you're in Berbice, it is 99.5. You could also reach us if you're overseas, or even if you're in Guyana, on Kaieteur Radio Facebook or Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube. It is time to get things moving on this show. We want to hear from you. Open those lines as early as possible. So let me don't waste any time there. Right away, it is 123 deaths. So we had two more deaths being recorded today. It's I think it is a woman from Region 4 and it's a man from Region 1. And that woman, I think it's 65. I got to check back. I'm going to have to check the age of that person. So it is right now, let me see, the paper's fallen. So it's October the 28th, 2020, and we're headed to our largest selling newspaper in Guyana. And you know, I'm looking at this newspaper here, and it's such a funny thing. Kaieteur Radio, Kaieteur News, there's two sister companies here running two different outfits, two different, and using staffers in between there. But what is so strange, this newspaper, well, not strange, it has always been something that the Kaieteur newspaper has always stood out neck and shoulders ahead of the rest of the pack. And there's a reason for that. They're not unwilling to buck the normal cavalry or the normal population. They're willing to take all and sundry. So here it is, they're criticizing both the government and the opposition. And I'm going to tell you a little bit that in a very short while. Sometimes you go there and you don't have a lot of friends. You can't, if you're a drinking man or a woman, not a lot of friends that you would have out there to say that you could call. Of course, people are appreciative, but they're going to say to you, I'd have a preference not to be seen with you today. You hear that from time to time, and leading up to the elections, that was indeed the case. You had to be very careful how you would talking, and you guys were with us during that time. So we head straight into our October the 28th edition of the Kaieteur News today. Kaieteur News publisher writes Ramatar over Kaieteur Kanji oil blocks, and you could recall it was these two oil blocks that join in the one that's producing right now, the Starbuck block. That were issued leading up to 2015, but this matter is coming up back because they're moving very swiftly ahead with exploring these two blocks. The problem is how did these two blocks end up in somebody's hands or some company's hands that with very little track record, or they you're saying you give it to somebody and then they flip it right away. How did that happen? Did we not think that maybe these blocks were worth much more? When you look at other countries and what they would have done with these oil blocks, they could have been a lot of money that you could have gotten for it. And so here it is, a lot of questions. So here it is. Kaieteur publisher Glenn Lal writes to Ramatar over Kanji oil blocks. I could probably read you a couple paragraphs here. Kaieteur News publisher Glenn Lal has written to former President Donald Ramatar asking him to explain his decision for signing away two of Guyana's most valuable assets, the Kaieteur and Kanji oil blocks. In this paper, as I've been highlighting several aspects of the transaction between Ramatar and members of the administration and Middle Atlantic Oil and Gas and Guyana Ratio Energy, two companies that with little to no experience in oil exploration at the time they were awarded valuable oil and gas concessions. In his letter dated October 24, 2020, the publisher outlined that as a national newspaper, Kaieteur News has an obligation to inform the Guyanese public about matters that affect them, their natural resources, and the future security and prosperity. As such, Lal asked the former president to give reasons for his decision to sign petroleum agreements for the Kanji and Kaieteur oil blocks with Mid-Atlantic Oil and Gas and Ratio Guyana and Ratio Energy companies that may have insufficient track records or capacity to conduct deepwater drilling activity required for the three blocks. And so that's a big story there. Let us see what happens. The fleecing of Guyana series as it continues. Kaieteur news also continues. We look in these two blocks here, and Kaieteur block owners like Kanji registered in territories notorious for financial secrecy. All this simply means when you ask for details as Guyana, you're a partner in this block, you own the block, and you have leased it to some companies to operate to see whether they can bring up that oil. You don't have the expertise. When you ask for information with this company or maybe the transactions they would have done, because they would hire a taxi service here, they would hire airplane there, they would hire or buy FPSOs. These are the floating rigs. And then when you ask for information with that, you can get a little, because in the territory are tax havens kind of territory with a lot of secrecy laws. And so when you call them, all they're going to tell you, look, we can't talk to you, we haven't done any transaction with you, we have done it with Exxon, we've done it with these companies, Ratio and the other Mid-Atlantic, so don't ask us anything. You are of no you have no legal standing here. So motion to override local government commission decision, illegal and proper chase green. And so this has to do, you coming back to the mayor and city council there. It seems as if there's going to take forefront in terms of the administration of the city here. Lots of problems in fighting between the various political factions here. Man shot for asking to turn down music. This is such a sickening thing. Got a call from, I think it is Enterprise, I think it was on the East Coast of Namprel, Dr. Carter Street the other day, and somebody was saying that when you ask people, it's not only the cars but next door neighbors. And so he goes to university, and whenever you ask these people to turn down music, it's a big issue. It has to do with your mental health, it has to do with your peace of mind. All across Guyana, if it's not somebody building the shed over your area, it is just people just saying to hell with you. You go to whoever it is and you complain. We're going to deal with that when it comes. In the meantime, you are forced to live in some kind of condition under the jurisdiction of others. If it's not their trees growing over your yard, it is they're just bullying you. You park your trucks in front of your area there, and they're doing whatever it is that they're doing. So juvenile arrested for Legrand's businesswoman's murder, and so call this woman here, 80 something plus, was killed in her home along the old road of Legrand, not too far from the police station there. And what you have is that a juvenile, this is so sad. We have to really look at our situation here. We have too many idle hands, and of course, there could be a variety of reasons. We could look at it, blame each other, blame the parents, blame society, blame the government. At the end of the day, it's a big condemnation on the people of Guyana to have our young people, our future, being involved. Something like this, that you would have the mind. Let's assume that this is indeed the person here. They would have the mind to kill somebody, tie them up, kill somebody, strangle them, and then search the house. What is it that you would do? You would have had to recon this place here, make sure that she is at a vulnerable state, rush in, take her, tie her up. Was it one person? Could it have been more than one? And so, in the meantime, there is a big story here that is evolving. It is expanding right now. Several sides to every story. There could be an explanation. And I'm going to ask James Bond to probably come on and have an explanation for this, because this is serious. He's a well-respected, or he was somebody of repute within the coalition, and he was one of the faces of the coalition fighting during that 5 months. And here it is, the headline is saying, PNCR executive James Bond received $1 million for NISA leased land. He got the land, or it's alleged that the land was given to a company, and when the company decided it is gonna, the land was leased, so just a couple $1,000. This is prime lands in the area of Eccles, in the area of Peters Hall there. Now, let me tell you this. I know of a gated community there, I think it is, what's the name of it? Republic Gardens. If you wanted to buy a house lot there, it was like about $8 million a couple of years back. And let me tell you what is an acre. What's an acre? An acre could give you up to six house lots. So you can imagine this company here, out of the blues, came and got 20 acres, and not for sale, but you got it rented as a lease. This company turned back with this lease now and says, I'm going to sell parts of this land here for $200 million. What did Guyana get? Well, that's a story that's evolving right now. And James Bond received over $1 million. Well, he's a lawyer. Could be explanations for this. I think he needs to have an explanation, whether it's to the authorities that are investigating it or to the public. We have 217,000 people in Guyana who would have voted for the coalition, not an ordinary among. That's an extraordinary number. It's 30. Is it 31? It is 31, 1, 33. So it means that the coalition got 31 seats. That's not something to scoff at. But what you have here is a senior member of the coalition. With the questions that came out of this is, was it advertised, this piece of land, and how many more transactions were like this? So was it above board? Well, only the officials would know. And of course, the company that got it is a company by the name of Arken Group Inc. and the managing director is some gentleman by the name of Jermaine Richmond. And so we are going to continue. I think the newspaper is going to continue doing what they have to do in investigating this case here. And there's a story on page 7 of the Kaieteur newspaper here today. Of course, they continue to send out the message here to the world about what this newspaper and what some sections of Guyana feel about the oil deal. And this is interesting here, the blunt statement to the diplomatic corps. The diplomatic corps raged about transparency during the elections, and rightly so. Should they be equally concerned about transparency about Guyana's oil? Democracy is a foreign policy interest of Western nations. Democracy requires transparency in elections and in the economy. If democracy entails transparent elections, then democracy also requires transparency in the allocation of economic resources. If it is wrong to steal an election, then it must be wrong to steal our oil wealth. I think, of course, all citizens who want to ensure that you have a better life or they have a better life would want to ensure that, their resources, you get a fair deal, a good deal, that we could be comfortable. I was looking at something this morning. I think it was some of the richest rulers around the world. You would look at Dubai, and the gentleman there who would have, I think, put together that deal along with his father, one of the richest man there, with the Burj Khalifa, I think it is Burj Al Arab, and you look at some of the things that they were able to do because of the sheer force of will. Then you look at Guyana here, and they created out of the desert an entire city or cities, that with man-made lakes, and even you could look at it as seas and so on there. It is something, you look at it, is it sustainable? That's another story, but we're just talking here about thinking out of the box, having vision. You can only do that if you have the resources. We have the resources. Can we get a better deal? Can we get a good deal? Can we have a deal that it's not, while we might not look forward to it in this life here, could we have a good deal that our grandchildren could look forward to it? And of course, we would want to enjoy it during our lifetime here. We think we have enough money out there. I think this morning I saw a story from Hess, is one of the partners of Exxon, which is developing or which has started producing oil in that Stabroek block. And what I can tell you is that Hess announced that our oil equivalent of barrels that we have out there has gone over 9 billion barrels in just that area that they would have done their work in, that they would have discovered so far. Remember, the exploration is still ongoing. So we are seeing numbers are climbing. There's more oil and gas there than we would have envisioned about 5 years back, because the exploration process is ongoing. And so in essence, that is what the story is. And so you look at it, we could go on, but we're going to stop here. I want to stop here right now because I want to start opening these lines. Somebody called me from Escobar this morning, and they were complaining in some area in the Pomona area there, some lady sharing out $25,000 cash grant, and the way that they're speaking to people, they want people to go to a particular house in the area, and everybody got to line up there. I thought it was a house-to-house registration, but they have one house, and when they go there, the police were extremely rude to the people. That's one side of the story. I'm hoping to hear the other side, because people saying, it's unfair. This lady who was doing the share now, she knows everybody in the area. Yet when my dad went to be thinking the amount of words and remarks that we heard, we know we should not be subjected to something like this as citizens. So wherever you are, a good day to you. This is the Wake Up Guyana show. I'm your host Leonard Gildarie. You're tuned into the Kaieteur radio, and so. We have 62222 in a very short while. I want you to start sending those messages. What's affecting you? Tomorrow we're going to be back with you, of course. We're not going to stop. The train cannot stop. This carriage, this caravan that we have of Guyana's progress cannot stop. We're going to continue it. And be it the government, be it the opposition, we're going to continue to hold the feet to the fire. We did promise you that leading up or during the elections. The opposition will not be spared during this time as well. We have a job as a watchdog, as the fourth estate in Guyana, to keep our eyes on what is happening, not only our wealth, but our management of this country here. When we see things wrong, we are going to talk about it, and that is where you come in as citizens, because it's not only the newspapers and the media and the radio, the television that have their job. You have your job. You are the fourth estate as well. We could say that, or the fifth estate. The people are the fifth estate, and you could be out there and you could see things happening and say, "Wait a minute, you're working with me. What is it that you did to the street here? How is it that you're making this bridge like this? So I'm almost sure it's not good engineering." You could raise that issue. And if you believe that they're bad and these engineers are bad or the contractors are rude and they're powerful, take some pictures and send it to the newspaper. You see how fast that the speed, you could cut the speed down to where it is that, let them understand you're in charge. I am in charge here. As a citizen of Guyana, I am in charge. So it is not just about motivating you this religiously. This is not a religious show. It is motivating you to demand better from your country, better from your leaders, and that's what we want. So in the meantime, as we come down to, let us see if there's a couple of messages, and we are gonna be joining you on the air, on the phone lines in a very short while. It is your day today, and we don't want to stop the train from moving forward. So let us see if we could read a couple messages before we head to the phone lines. 6222222 is where you send the messages to. 6222222. And of course, one of my good friends today, Mr. James from Church Street, visited today. Always tuned in to us every single day. Brought his grandson to see myself, and I said, "I can't speak to you too long. How you doing?" He gave me an elbow, and he says, the little kid was very happy today, and I wish you all the best, Mr. James from Church Street. Came all the way to Kaieteur News to see us. Good day, good afternoon, Leonard. The residents of Block D1 Bat are having low pressure for about a week now. Can Guy say what's the problem? This is, let me see, Block D Bat. Where is this? Is this Bat, West Coast, Demerara, West Coast, Berbice? Is it Bat, Maikoni? You guys need to tell us that. So it's Bat, Block D. I want you to send me that message to ensure that we could send it out to the ministers or whoever is in charge there. I must tell you a good day to Minister Colin Crowell. Always, he would always respond. Good afternoon, Leonard. There are a lot of potholes on Princess Street from High Street, all the way to Cemetery Road. The holes are on the side of the road, and the vehicles have to be dodging them. Yes, I know. And I'm almost sure the Ministry of Public Works with the Force Accounts Unit should be aware of this. They should be driving around, not wait until somebody call them. You don't wait until all the stitches are loose before you try to fix it. You start taking the stitches there. You start fixing, one stitch in time saves 9. That's what they say. So let us, pay attention. What's happening? Ministry of Public Works, drive around town. Let the people like on the East Bank, don't wait until the whole develop. So I think a good thing if you're living in Diamond, I did see some contracts out for the repair of that access road. I see work ongoing with a market area within the Diamond opposite that courts branch here in Diamond. I think it's leading to the market there. So um, so there's a lot of things that is happening right in Guyana right now, and we have to pay attention. Let's pay attention to what the contractors are doing. Let's ensure that they deliver. Hi, Leonard. Why GWI don't print a bill like how GPL do it in the previous and present, and the price per cubic? Because every customer should know how much water they're using, and stop telling customer the nonsense that water bill gone up, and when you say thank you. Um, Let me see. Good afternoon, Leonard. The crazy mess. This is going on at Luzaknan, East Coast, Demerara, west of the railway embankment line by the road, where the estate ordered the line. Some gentleman buy a house there, put it up on the road where the Chinese using it to go in and out with their heavy duty machines. Want to know why housing and guys who are not doing nothing? You cannot report to the NDC. It's like throwing water on dog back. All the councillors and overseers need to be removed. No good for the community. And this is something I can't comment on the performance of the Luzaknan folks there, whoever's in charge of the Luzaknan area there. But it drives home the point that when we are voting folks there, because you know the local government election every couple of years, they come knocking on your door, and you're the guys who go vote them in. And so when we complain, this is not their job. I don't think I've been receiving complaints that it looks as if a lot of the NDCs, the RDCs, the local government organs generally, like they're not very fully aware of not the thing, but I think it's a responsibility that they have to the people of Guyana, and they continue to treat it as if it's just an office. You go in, you go out, you gotta sit down at a meeting, and you pass a couple of plans as they. That's not it. You need to represent the people. You're a counselor. You need to go to the people home. What is affecting you? Do you need a new playground? Could we find some way, work along with the residents to develop the playground in the area? Don't wait until the government gives you something. There are business people who might be able, or even citizens might be able to put a few dollars, might be able to put up a fence or something that we could do that. So, we have a big job there for the NDCs. It's not all times that the central government, the president or the prime minister or even Bayer Jagdeo would be there. That's not their job. We have to take it. We cannot allow, everything is, is a government job. We have to stop that. And so right about now, it is about 1:30 now, and it is time. It's insurance time. It is the CARICOM General Insurance Company Inc. It's a better value for better protection. Get your ship and cargo covered with us today. CARICOM General Insurance Company Inc. at 121 Regenton Arnock Streets to better serve you. You can now purchase your insurance online from the comfort of your home. Telephone 225-1787 or 269-0020. CARICOM General Insurance Company Inc. And right now, before we take a break and we head straight into some commercials, I'm going to tell you, get ready. Start sending those texts to 6222222. And when we back, our phone line in the studio here is 226-7453. Want to hear from you guys today, wherever you are, whatever it is that you're doing.
The government of Guyana has begun the rollout of the COVID-19 $25,000 household cash grant. Citizens are being advised that there is no pre-registration requirement. Clearly identified distribution clerks under the supervision of the Ministry of Finance will visit the respective households to verify credentials. Following this exercise, distribution will be done on a house-to-house basis. In cases where there are multiple households in one home, only the principal householder will receive the cash grant in the first instance. However, the other householders will be required to provide their information on a pink form, and following verification, they will receive the cash grant. The $25,000 household cash grant is in keeping with the government's promise to provide economic relief during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yes, good afternoon. Welcome back to the Wake Up Guyana show here on Kaieteur Radio. And right away, we're going to tell you 226-7453. We want to hear those lines, those lights lighting up today in our studio here, those telephone lines. And do we have a number already calling in there? Yes, it is. Good afternoon. Calling on the air. Go right ahead.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Go right ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Did we lose you? I think so. My apologies. When you get ready, let's get this show on the road. 226-7453. We have a caller already on the line. Good afternoon, caller. You on the air?
Sorry.
Hi. Yes. Go ahead.
I'm calling from Enmore pertaining to the sergeant of Enmore Police Outpost. This woman is taking a lot of bribe up in Enmore here.
Did you complain to anybody?
It's waste time going in Covanjon to the C Division and make complaint. So we need to open up this matter.
What about the police complaints authority? I understand an investigation was going on there.
Waste time there.
Why?
No,
Why do
no
you say
help,
that?
no
Have they
help.
started it? Have they concluded it?
They started it and stall and asking us to write letters. Well, what do we have to write letters for?
Let me ask you a question. This is Gildarie asking you now.
Yeah.
If you make an allegation Gildarie is a thief, you have the evidence it, and I ask you, the authorities ask you to produce it.
Yeah, we have the evidence.
So why is it? I'm just asking because I am sitting here. I'm asking, why is that not being done? There, people ask. I think I spoke to Mr. I think it's former Justice William Ramlal, and I spoke to him on this matter here with regards to the lady, and he did indicate to me, he says, Mr. Gildarie, an investigation is ongoing there. Could you come across to my office? I could tell you that I have nominated a special officer to do the investigation on this. It is a requirement before you do an indictment like the courts. You have to have statements, and then the judge sits there and says, look, based on the evidence that's here, either there's a case against you or there is. So that's why I'm asking you why.
She's visiting people home who got matters, making up story at their home and collecting the money right here.
Could they, you know, how many persons you know like this that we could get together, form a delegation? I'd be more than happy to talk to them.
Roughly, we got about two.
2 persons only?
Yeah.
All right, and was these statements were also given to the police complaints authority?
This is recent matters.
Recent matters.
Yeah.
All right, if you could get me, maybe you could give me text it to me.
Okay.
Give me those names and I could forward it to the police complaints authority because they're the ones who are investigating. And let us see where this goes. We're going to put it a test case. But you know, in any court of law, and this is where we stand right now, I might not like the opposition or I might not like the president, but I have to give them the due respect for the process to be followed.
Okay.
And so it's both sides. You know, there's this thing. So we have to do that. All right, well, send that to me and I'm going to take it from there. Thank you very much. So a good day to the folks down at Enmore there. You know, they've been complaining there. Of course, some other persons would have come to the defense of the sergeant down there. That some persons are making allegations against her. Others came out and says it's 1 or 2 persons. Of course, there are 2 and 3 sides to every story. What we do know is that the police complaints authority would have received complaints. So did the commander in the area for that particular district. I think Mr. Pius Ram it is. I did speak to him about that, and they did indicate that they're looking into the matter. So let's see where it goes. At the end of the day, 2 and 3 sides to every story, and let us see what happens. So 226-7453, do we have another caller on the line there? Yes, it is. Go right ahead. Good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay, this is Elias Alicop from Sand Hills.
Yes, sir. How are you doing?
Oh, good. We have a problem up in the Demerara River here.
And in the same Sand Hill communities?
Yeah, in the same Sand Hill community.
Okay. What is the problem, sir?
We have a bauxite company up here.
Bonasica?
Yes.
Yes.
Same bauxite company that they promised to give us electricity and water. At present time, they only give the houses, the rich people, electricity, and the poor people cannot access electricity. Is it in this world today that everybody is rich?
Let me ask a question because I'm not too familiar with Sand Hill. How far away is Sand Hill from the actual mining operations that is ongoing?
It is, the mining operation is at Sand Hills.
Yes.
And these people is in Vreeden Rust. Our community is in Vreeden Rust. Because
how far away is that in terms of miles?
It's no kind of mileage.
So the rich people that you're saying are receiving the electricity, how far away from you are they living?
They're just next door to us. They're next door to us. It's two houses that do not access electricity right about now. Is Cynthia Paul and Ignatius Alicock.
And did they explain to you why they're not giving it to you?
No, they are not explaining it. And the other part is the water. They are not giving us water, and they promised to give us water.
And I think this is part. Let me just ask you one more question. Is this part of the agreement that they would have had as part of the corporate responsibility when they enter the area to do operations, that they would provide these services to the people within those community?
Yes, sir. We signed a memorandum of understanding.
Very good. All right. This is what I'm gonna speak to the PS, the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Natural Resources. I'm almost sure I could recall this project being launched. They said it was a big thing. I'm going to speak to the Ministry of Natural Resources on this matter. You would probably need to text me a number or find some way of getting your number to me so we could be able to.
3877.
639.
3877.
Okay, I will ask them to give you a call, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Alicock. And I'm gonna ask the PS, let them address this matter because I think it's part of the agreement that they have to do it. I'm not sure. I can't speak on it as to whether they're wrong or right, but I'm gonna put this over in the ministry and let me know how it works out.
Okay, Mr. Gildarie. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. So in the meantime, you would tune into the Wake Up Guyana show. Let's go to some messages and see what our people have to say today. Hi, no. They said that this good morning, but I missed that. Leonard, Eid un Nabi to the Kaieteur family. Sir, let's stay focused. We as Guyanese, like Lazarus in the Bible, let's take the crumbs from the assumed oil wealth from our imperialist friends and develop our nation. Blaming an individual for trading blocks will not get us anywhere. Let's be honest, the cops, plus the lawyers and the judges are all corrupted. Only poor people go to jail. Legalize the ganja and free those in prison for possession of ganja. The same things are happening in the Western world. Can you imagine COVID-19 is ripping apart the economies of these Western countries? What do we expect from all those who are selling our land to foreigners and getting us rich overnight? Let's abolish squatting ASAP and give each Guyanese that are interested a piece of land in Dubai and the rest of the UAE. Foreigners cannot own land and get citizenship. This is a topic that we'd have to get into. I'm going to give you a parallel in a very short while. Let us implement that policy that would stop the selling of our nation to those greedy foreigners and corrupted Guyanese real estate tycoons who do not care for the image of their country. The world is not a fair world. Democracy is hard to maintain, my friend. May Allah continue to bless my fellow Guyanese who trying hard each day to make it end meet. Happy Nabi to you and your family. And this is coming, of course, from my good friend Derek. Call me from time to time. Always a very positive, comes with solutions as well. And so in a couple of places, even I lived in St. Martin for a little while. If you believe that you have a kid born over there and that kid is automatically a citizen, that you have a wrong thing coming. You have to wait until that kid is 21, and I think it is. And that person there, only then would they be able to apply whether they want to become a citizen or not. That's one. I bring that up to you to show you the hoops that you have to jump through. In some other places, you just can't go there and just own a piece of land just like that. You have to wait. I think you could have it through a company. And even then, there's no such thing as ownership. What you do is lease it for maybe 50 years or so. You could put on your construction. And at the end of that time there, you would have the provisions whether you continue or you give it up and you leave. So there's some very strict rules in some places there. What you have in Guyana is that there's a cost attached every time and again, we're going to have some idiots coming on too and say that, Guyanese went all over the world and they live and that we should not be treating our people, any person that come in here. I'm not talking about our opening the doors. In fact, we are signatory to the UN charters when it comes to human rights. And this country has opened its doors to Venezuelans. And this is something that we should have all, as all citizens, endorse it. Because there were times in the past, and we've had discussions, intense discussions, that we went all over the world, from Suriname to Brazil to Venezuela, Trinidad, Barbados, Antigua, St. Martin. Let's don't even go to North America and Europe. We have lots of Guyanese living in London, and so you just do your research and you would see. In fact, they're estimating there's as much Guyanese out of the country or Guyanese of or persons of Guyanese origin out of the country as they're in here. Some people are going to tell you that. Now, so you have to, there's a cost every time that you live here. And we had this discussion just recently that you come into the country. If you have to process work permits, there's personnel that you have to put for that. Paperwork, electricity burning. And some places you have a work permit that expires and you have to renew it. It's not there for a period that's indefinite. So when you have these kind of things and you have these overhead expenses, you have to make money off it. It's not that you make money that you're going to kill the person, but it has to be enough that you cover. You go to the American embassy, you pay almost 30,000+ US Guyana dollars for a visa, a visitor's visa, a B1, B2 visa. So when you talk about treating anybody coming here, no, we're not talking that. Let's get it right. It's what is good for Guyana, looking out for the interests of Guyanese, but ensuring that the rules that you know every person that comes into this country. That's what it is. So it isn't anything else except that. Do we have another caller on the line? Yes. Good afternoon, caller. You on the air? Yes. Good afternoon, caller. You on the air? Go right ahead. Hello.
Hello?
Yes. Good afternoon, caller. Go ahead.
Gildarie?
Yes, it is.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
I'm calling concerning Best Hospital.
Best Hospital. This is the West Demerara there. Go right ahead.
Yeah. And I'm a diabetic.
Uh-huh.
I had to go for dressing.
Uh-huh.
I went there yesterday to say, maybe I have bandage. I said no.
They ask you, they ask you, how old are you, sir?
I'm 60.
60. They ask you, a 60-year-old man, if you have bandage. A hospital asking you that? Who asked you that? The doctor or the nurse?
The nurse is dressing the foot.
Uh-huh.
And
So what did you say?
I don't have because I never have to go and buy, you know.
Were you a little shocked at this request?
Yeah, because I had to go and buy a bandage, or else the foot wouldn't rest.
Did you ask them why you asking me that question?
Yeah, because they said they don't have.
Okay, I think, all right. And they didn't give you an explanation why they don't have.
Well, they don't have in stock there, so I don't know what happened to the hospital.
You've been going to that hospital how long?
A long time.
A long time, and you never encountered this problem?
No.
I'm going to have to find out why this issue is here.
And next thing,
Uh-huh.
the foot clinic there,
Uh-huh.
there's not a permanent doctor there. You want to see a doctor, you have to wait till 11 or 1 o'clock. Tell them don't do what they got to do, and then one might come there. We don't have a permanent doctor there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Before, we used to got doctors just be there every morning.
Mm-hmm.
But now, I don't know what's really going on.
Are there doctors that you're aware that are stationed there but might not necessarily be present at that point in time?
Yes, I was have one, but most of the time he's in the ward. They're not one station there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
This one is be in the ward, and when he get time, he come down.
Mm-hmm. And there's going to be a long line of people that's waiting on him.
We don't really have a long line.
What is the wait that you to complain in?
Right. Sometimes you go there early, you can't go see the doctor, you got to go back.
I am going to ask Dr. Vishnu Mahadio. I think he is one of them that they have put in charge here. I think he's the Inspector General. I'm going to ask him to come on and let us have a chat about quality of care at these hospitals here, because this is something, I mean, I can't understand something simple as, I can understand about the other maybe hard to get medicine or so. Something simple as a bandage, I can't understand this.
Yes, let me tell you something. You see, like if some big ones go in there, even see the work for them people is they're doing, clean up, throw away this old fun, this thing. Some big ones go in there. All them things, they're doing that. I witnessed that.
I don't understand why is it that we got a signal that we coming down there. I think if I'm in charge, like Robertson Ben is in charge, yeah. I won't tell them that I'm coming. Robertson Ben is the minister, and I told people, I said I expect Robertson to go to police station at 3 o'clock in the morning. He's that kind of person.
Yeah, because when I go there, you see how much cleanup they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you know, by the midday or something.
I'm going to raise this issue here with the Inspector General. I'm going to bring him on the program next week, even though as early as Friday. I'm going to have a chat with him this afternoon and bring him on. And let's have something. We got to bring on more guests, more of these people that is in charge. I'm ready for that now. I'm
I
back
had
to job.
Mr. Gildarie, I had an experience yesterday at the lab.
Mm.
I wasn't well, and the doctor wrote, "We're going to do a test for blood count, right?" And she put urgent. You know, I went there with 10:30.
Mm-hmm.
So when he goes in, she said, 1 hour, he could come back for the result. I said, no problem.
That's at the West Dem Hospital again?
Yeah, the lab.
Uh-huh.
1 hour. So 11:30, I asked, said, they're ready yet. You know, 12 o'clock, they come out and tell me, who waiting for the result, you have to come after lunch.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and this, I wasn't feeling well at all. My wife was with me. I had to lay down on her lap, and the blood count was low.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It was real low. So I had to get injection tablets, and I got to go every other day for injection. So I don't know why these people doing this thing. This thing is urgent. And you told me an hour. Now I have to wait till after lunch, till after 1.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Something could have happened to me between that.
All right, no problem. I'm gonna raise these issues here and let's see what happened. But I thank you for raising those matters.
All right, okay.
Thank you very much, dear. So I want to say good day to the folks down in the West Demerara area. I want you to have a very pleasant day, a very safe day, whatever it is that you're doing. Region 10, what is it that is up with you? With St. Cuthbert's Mission, Region 9, Region 8, Region 7. Region 7 is where a lot of goal activities happen in. Region 8 also. To a less extent in Region 9, I think there's only one area that they do it there is the Marudi area, Marudi Mountain area. So whatever it is that you're doing, I want to say good day. Hope that you're staying safe. It seems that every day there is something going on in the back dams for the people there. So in the meantime, we are going to cut in for a commercial break right now. We're going to be back in a very short while, take more calls and read out some more messages.
The government of Guyana is committed to a comprehensive and inclusive housing development program for the benefit of all Guyanese. This is evident from its actions to date. However, the previous administration did absolutely nothing to identify alternative lands to house the persons squatting on state-owned lands on the east coast of Demerara. This illegal act was politically motivated, and poor and vulnerable individuals and families are being callously exploited for political purpose and private profiteering. Those lands have been identified for immediate and substantial cane cultivation by the Guyana Sugar Corporation. The information collected shows many of the squatters have proven to be homeowners, and yet the government has made every effort to engage the squatters and seek an amicable solution. Persons are being reminded that it is a criminal offense to illegally occupy state-owned land. The government cannot and will not allow squatting to be used as a means of acquiring land for housing. The government's offer to provide immediate, safe, temporary alternative accommodation to those persons in need remains in place.
Thank you very much and welcome back to the Wake Up Guyana show. And yesterday I did see something that raised my eyebrows and I said, yes, that's the way you got to go. So in Boxton, I saw Zulfi, this is Minister Zulfi Mustafa, Minister of Agriculture, Zulfikar Mustafa went into Boxton there, meeting with farmers, and there was a good turnout, it seems, based on the pictures that we've seen here. And you know, this is when you're governing, you have to ensure that you go to all corners of the country, meet the people, do not beat around the bush. And when you go to a place like that, that it means that you're on serious business. And I'm not sure. I've seen Mr. Zulfikar in action. I think when he was the Region 6 chairman in Berbice, when I was covering agriculture for the newspaper. and he's a busybody all over the place. So this is something that I said let me share with you. In the meantime, let's go back to some of those messages. Dear Mr. Gildarie, do you have any information of the COVID-19 assistance for the $25,000? When they will start the distribution in Region 3? Thank you very much. I don't have that information. When I get it, when they put it out, I'm going to make sure that I read it. They're in Region 2 at the moment. Region 2 people complaining there about some of the attitude of the distributors. Of course, two sides to every story. Some people are being told they are told to go to one house instead of them coming to a house. They're told to go to one house and line up, and even the policemen were very rude, to the people there. So they're complaining. Pomona area, whatever's happening there, we need to fix it if there's a problem. Guyanese need to realize that every day now seems to be all fools day. From top to bottom, fooling around has now become the norm in our society. We cannot allow lies to lead us where we beat a place of frustration, depression, and uncontrolled violence. Good afternoon. Why does the EPA stand for what the government stands for? What government agency is that? Why, when somebody on the phone, you have all these hand gestures with your colleagues inside the office? Good question. Okay, EPA is the Environmental Protection Agency. This is not the radar program that you were able to look at within our studio here. It's really a radio program. It's not such thing as a television program. We just doing live streaming because people around the place. We have the forums now. I'm seeing my colleague is walking into the studio with a very long coat. It's a jacket that's too big for him, and it's a little funny thing. But yes, when you see us making hand motions behind the scenes here, is because there are things that needs to be done. The work doesn't get done. The ads doesn't get read, or the ads doesn't get played, just like that. It's all part of the operations within the radio, and it's more of a radio station than a television. This is not television station here. We're just doing it because it's available. The forum of YouTube as well as Facebook is available. So thank you very much for that question. Good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie, locked in from Diamond, enjoying the show. I'm an administrative member of the Wake Up Guyana Watch. Due to technical difficulties, I'm unable to share the live feed of today's edition of the show to the group. Can somebody from Kaieteur side try sharing the live to the group, please? I'm going to pass this to my colleague, and maybe he's going to do that. In the meantime, do we have a call on line 226-7453? Do we have a call on line? Yes, good afternoon, caller, in here.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Mr. Gildarie, the Isle Black Quasi happened in Ramatar. I don't know if you understand, but I understand it.
Mm-hmm.
When they had the thing of Freedom House to choose for president, Jagger are the man who will blame. He are the one who go with Ramatar and not any other body. I had a big problem. And you know what happened? Ramatar almost has sell out the country. According to what he did it. And Robert Prasad,
Mm-hmm.
and you got to blame Jagger. He must take all the blame in this country. We are the PPP people, and we got to speak out. He must take the blame because he's the one who forced Ramatar to go there because he go against all body. Then I have vote like, you understand me?
Mm-hmm.
One next thing again, this thing that are going along at the hospital of Reno, right? This people them are go with thing, nobody, everybody walk out and want for walk. And the lab are doing what they want for do. Let me tell you something. Me, I was sickly one that may go there many times or anything. But when my wife is sick, me go to and so and see. And you see the way how these people work, like nobody not in charge of them, like.
Mm-hmm.
And the doctor them got to run ward. They must start run ward at 5 o'clock in the morning. That in Georgetown, 5 o'clock in the morning, run the ward. At 8 o'clock, they start to see people. They must have a system. The system will be done. Look, you go private hospital. And even a more hospital in 1973. They're on a small operation. 5 o'clock, say we're done there and look after all the patients and gone. And he gone home and drink it here. By 8 o'clock, the man in the office to look at people who have come with different complaints.
Mm-hmm.
Understand me? And now people comment again about this 25,000 when you go share with the jury. People must learn, forget manners and wait, man. Wait until the people come. Why you calling steady, so man? If they want to hear, share, ask you. Why you calling? Wait, you go to get your money. I saw them are hungry. So they can't wait.
No,
All the
well,
time they're hungry.
you know, there's some very desperate people out there. People really suffer. There's yeah. Uh-huh.
All the time when I'm hungry.
Mhm.
Wait a little more, man. Hungry a little more. The money will come. And let me tell you something. For me, if me get the money, me I go buy one bed month goods and put it in my house. And they say the rest of them, not for them. When they get the money, they go sport. Then they will go get the wife. You understand what's going on?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I sport it out. Our next thing again, these rum bar
Mm-hmm.
with this COVID-19 where they are. I think you got to open the country, yes. But the president should put a stamp over the we understand they got to pay money, they got to pay everything. But the gathering of people, let's say, for me, or separate our economy.
Yeah, they got to fix that. I hear you very clearly on that.
I come to mass at all time. And when me come, I wash my hand, me go to me wash my hand. And me up here tell me they won't hold
Yeah, yeah.
me that unless me go wash up for me wash. Because she not really want to go to shop for my goods. So it's me is go to the buying and bring them. She tell me what she wants.
Uh-huh.
So, have we got a problem in this country where the president got to stand up? And let me tell you something, when police go get the money, they ain't supposed to have one blasted thing, man.
Well, the person complained this morning very bitterly about that. But
they are bodyguarding the people with money.
Uh-huh.
The people who share the money road, the government should remove them immediately because remember them are here and they might get paid for do that work. Then I do it free.
Uh-huh.
Then you don't get to pay.
Thank you very much for that, sir. I hear you. Thank you, right? God bless. So in the meantime, people see things differently, and a lot of people, they would have had experiences which tells them different. But it's hard when you're out there and people really suffering, and you see some different stories. They're single parents, and so when you hear them complaining, you got to empathize because they have very little option. You and I might have option, but they have very little options where to turn to. May not have a parent or a godfather or somebody there who might be willing to give them. Nobody gives anybody anything. Nobody helps anybody. Everybody's struggling for themselves, or a lot of people, most people. Good afternoon, Gildarie. My concern today is about the land sale under the Brigadier government. Many Guyanese are yearning for a piece of land to create shelter for themselves and their family. However, those cries have largely fallen on deaf ears during their period in government. Yet they decide to sell large plots of land to persons who do not prove that they had any interest in investing in our country. On top of that, the James Bond, what a disgrace to that name, pocketed millions and did not see it fit to use some of the money to help poor people during the pandemic. Are these wolves in sheep clothing still the leaders that people want to look up to? Clearly, these people can't think for themselves. Guyanese have to stop being soup drinkers and rob earth, dodging questions on Globespan about the oil giveaway that he and Ramatara oversaw. The politicians of this country must answer to the people. The resources aren't theirs. They're the only ones who were put there. They were only put there by the people to govern how the resources are exploited so the Guyanese could have maximum benefits. I hope Kaieteur News go after these people relentlessly until we get answers. We demand and then appropriate actions be taken. So thank you very much for that caller, that listener, that viewer there. Hello, sir. Are you going to get me an iPad or a laptop? I'm working on a couple of things right now. Bear with me, folks. I'm going to make an announcement. Good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie. I'm a regular listener to your program. I'm from West Berbice. The Bat Woodley area NDC is not looking at the concerns of the people. I think we need a local government election to remove those persons, the residents there that are blocking the streets with sand for weeks. If somebody is sick in the night, the patient may have to die because vehicles can't pass through the street. When reporters like throwing water on dog back, I want to know if the government is paying attention or they're sleeping in the office because they have bed in the NDC office. Thank you. Have a blessed day. And of course, the people continue. They don't like what is happening, and NDC is taking the brunt of it. It's 2:00 right now, and it's time. It's your insurance time. Better value for better protection. Get your ship and cargo coverages today. CARICOM General Insurance Company, Inc. at 121 Regenton or Knox Street. So better serve you. You can now purchase your insurance online from the comfort of your home. Telephone 225-1787 or 269-0020. CARICOM General Insurance Company Inc. We take a break now, and when we back, we head straight. Okay, well, let's continue. Do we have a call on line 226-7453? Yes, we do. Good afternoon, caller, on the air.
Yeah, Larry,
Yes, it is.
good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Quickly, let me tell you this. The people that are governing this country, that like the people punishing, look at the stupidness they got going on at housing. If the U.S. Embassy got a program where it is, they give you a list of the requirements for you to come in and see. And they got a timing set out where they see a number of people. Why we locals can't do that housing? They got people sit down there in the numbers whole day, but they feel that they're working when they're doing the work like this. Now look at the next stupidness what they're doing in this country. They're selling you, they're giving you a house for 7.2, and then they're giving you the bank, well, the increase with name now, they're giving you up to 10 million to build a house, right? Now, look what they're doing. Look how they sell out this isle back. Kaieteur with name. The Kaieteur isle back. Look at notice and I'm happy the general up on the back concerning it. But look how this nation has slipped in this economy where in dollars and not in cents. The bank is lending you $10 million. Let me say the bank lending you $8 million to build a house. And you got to pay back $16 million within 30 years. Anything could happen, right? And they're going to lend you $5 million, $6 million to buy a CRC van, right? They're going to lend you to buy a name van. Any, we call it vehicle, man, CRV, RAV4, and
yes.
so on, right?
Yeah.
And you get in 3 years to pay off. You can get 3 years to pay off for the vehicle. And the vehicle, you're paying it in less time, which means it's nonsense. They could do better. Force and carry this economy into sense and drop the way you call it, the interest upon housing for this society, especially with the kind of wealth we got coming with speed, and stop giving it to friends. You know how I see this particular administration, especially the people that are in flyback. They got a famous old-time mafia team named John Gotti. This is how I see this administration as a Guyanese. Because it's foolishness. Why I must take a vehicle at $6 million, carry your interest, and I paying in less years for the vehicle, and you giving me a house, and then here they laugh about the house. Sometimes when I get this money, it can't even pay, do fencing, etc. When you go back for additional loan, when your payment good, the interest that you pay come after the money, and if you already pay $2 million, they drop it. It starts back from where you borrow. And these foolish people in Guyana just sitting on and taking it. But the stupidness they're doing in housing, at housing, I totally against it. They could get it like the U.S. Embassy in terms of this is the requirement. When you come in, we seeing so much of people. We got you by numbers. You got a big clock, 15 minutes per body. And within a couple of hours, you get to there. Everybody.
It's not that straightforward. I'm going to tell you a couple of things that I know. Because so many of the persons that turn up there, you're going to have some emergencies. And many of those persons that turn up there on a daily basis, I'm familiar with it because I used to cover housing, and I can tell you it's a nightmare down there. What are you talking there about a nightmare? It's a nightmare for the staffers there too. I'm not sure they need to fix it, but a lot of people that turn up on a daily basis don't turn up because there is an appointment basis, but a lot of people turn up. I did speak to Colin Crowell, the Minister of Housing and Water, recently about this, because some people sent me some pictures with a crowd that was gathered there. And then I had to call him. I said, you cannot have those things that is happening there. Respectfully, Minister, because you're endangering, or you would be responsible for endangering them to the COVID-19. And he says, yes, Gildarie. He says one of the problems that we have right now, people are turning up, although being told that there should be an appointment basis. He says, when they turn up, how do you do? Do you send them away, or do you try to cover it? But he says, it is a problem. I think even the Minister, Susan Rodriguez, came down trying to control the crowd there. It's very difficult. What do you do? But I understand what you're saying.
But secondly, right, the problem was fixed because we fixed the passport problem. We used to have a problem with the passport.
Right. I agree with you. That's a good one.
Listen, here the likes you're punishing. I see the police doing something this morning at the harbor bridge, which I agree.
I was about to discuss that. What was the reason that those were the motorbikes?
Well, yes, the motorbikes went in a lane, I guess that they were not. But why you got the people bulking up?
That was the issue that we have.
Hold on. Yesterday somebody was speaking to you about the police, and you tend to speak like, I am not penalizing you for nothing. Just hear me, right? You tend to speaking like you're living somewhere different. Call Freddie Kissoon and ask you who's right in your papers about the police. You know what he said? He said they ain't got an officer in this country because he was speaking about COVID and places that opened up the bank and all around that you could write and see. Even Church Street, you mentioned in Newtown and etc. But Freddie Kissoon consistently writes it. He speak about police. He said every officer in this country, a businessman got in the pocket. He even went to survival when some cashier had a little mistake. And before you even speak about it, this is why reading your papers. A whole one load of police, and when you got a problem, police ain't coming. And the famous name that you mentioned about that in charge of Region 3, my friend, if you know a story, you mention the name. The name got the character behind it. There's one of the names that went up in Bobby's with the name of the carpenter. These people got character that you read, you go back to Freddie K. Because Freddie K soon got a tendency when he writes in, he loved to say, check back in September, this date, check back the date, and etc. Check it out. Because you check it, you will see he distinctly got it quote unquote on the line big. Every officer in this country, the business society, got one of them in the pocket. So don't speak. And next thing I want you to find out, what happened with the warning book of the station? You know there's a warning book. The warning book don't work. You understand the warning book is work? Is when you do got a friend. So when you see it come to these people in terms of getting the work, and as the fellow right police said yesterday, service is a big thing in this country.
It is.
This
It
whole
is.
country got a tendency that they like when you go to transact a business, you must crawl in your belly. And like when you go and buy something with got warranty, they trying to dodge you and give you a warranty. And sometimes they think got a genuine fault, but they don't want to stand up and say, look, okay, this is we fault, we're going to exchange. They don't want to carry you wrong. And then they got a tendency like you're there again. It's foolishness. But I like how Glenn Lal, back in the case with giving out the Stabrook Block. These people playing their head ain't good, but they run this place. You know these people run this place? Like if Guyana belongs to one set of people. And it's time indeed these people stand up to this system. We need to stand up to this system.
I
But
think
the
so, and I
system-
agree with you. To the system, we have to fix the system. If
but
the system works,
the
that
system
definitely, they
housing,
need to fix it.
It could
Uh,
fix.
I think it's a working. Look, there's a lot of things that's wrong. I could count, and I'm going to run out of fingers when it comes to the issues that we have in Guyana. Starting with service, starting with governance, and you and I could have conversations until then. But I do hear what you're saying. I do appreciate what you're saying. You're right on the bottom with it. We need to fix it. All right.
All right, then.
God
Yeah,
bless you,
yeah,
my
yeah,
brother.
yeah, yeah.
God bless you. Thank you very much, sir. So in the meantime here, this morning I did see some photographs of there were several motorbikes that the police pulled over at the West Demerara end of the Harbor Bridge there. But there's nothing wrong with the police doing their job of doing controls to find out whether these whether these bikes have documents or not, and whether these people, they are doing what they're supposed to be doing. What was alarming is that the people were bunched very, very closely in a corner, and that is a no-no, and the police got to be very much aware of this. You can't get people bunching around, especially cameras. People are going to be taking photographs and so on, but more so, the police should know better. So that is something that I totally disagree with this morning that I saw. Hi, good afternoon, good day. My name is Balstein Ryan. I'm from New Amsterdam, Berbice, the village name of Overwinning. Years now. The community applied for landline phones, and up to now the community cannot get any landline phone. Could you please help me out? Yes. Start putting in the application to another company. Or maybe you could ask GT&T. GT&T seems to be apologizing a lot right now. It seems as if they want to help persons. Put an application into them, I think, and let's see what happens, and keep me posted what is happening. This is one of the issues why the government has basically says that we're going to open the telecoms industry and allow other people to compete as well, because they have been moving too slow. It is criminal what GT&T used their liberalization to do to this country. We've held back our technological stride in this country. Technology was left back for a very long time in terms of communication we're talking about here. Okay, good. Let me see if there's a. Good afternoon, Gildarie. I'm interested in. Okay, I think somebody there. Low water pressure in block D1, Bath, West Coast, Berbice. All right, I'm going to send this. Thank you very much for sending that to us. 2267453. Do we have a call on the line? Yes, good afternoon, caller. On the air. Go right ahead. Could you lower your volume on your radio, please? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Go right ahead.
This is Gildarie.
Yes, it is.
I live in Essequibo in area.
Yes.
I just understand about this 25,000. I had a problem in Pomona yesterday.
Uh-huh.
That's how the people them said they got to go some house to line up.
I think somebody called and complained about that this morning. I'm not sure. I can't tell you. We were not on the ground. The police are there. The representatives, police, because of course it's cash that you're dealing with. And so there was some issues. People weren't too happy that they got to go to line up at other people's house to collect this money. I mean, it's a private thing. But I'm not sure.
I want to tell you that my husband is a stroke man. He's 79 years. He's not seen me working. And I'm 68 years of age, and we's only the two of you alone living out. So I wasn't able to go nowhere to line up. You understand?
No, well, when they come, have they come to your areas yet?
No, they don't in area yet.
Well, when they reach there, you could demand that, because obviously if the man is sick and the man can't move about, they can't force you to go that.
They could see that two-wheelchair here in a hammock right now.
Right. I hope that he's feeling good today. Yes, be of good cheer. When they come there, you can insist that you can't go anywhere. They would have to come to your house. The president says it's coming to your house. It's a house thing.
I listen to your program every day, Mr. Leonard. Every day I sit on my hammock and I listen to your program, but I just try to call you, but it's so hard to get through.
Yes, the line. We have one line, and even if we have two lines, it's going to be so difficult. We have limited time. I spoke to my one of my directors this morning about expanding the program a little, but I have to see whether they give me time off from downstairs as one, because I'm still a reporter. I'm still help to edit sometimes. I have other duties other than this. So in addition to that, I was asking for more time, and they tell me all the slots are already taken. Because we want to, do more for the people.
Yes. Well, after this morning, I guess I understand, and then I place me Middlesex.
Middlesex,
yes.
All right. Keep me posted what's happening, and you and your old boy there, I hope that you have a pleasant rest of the day there.
Yeah, you too, Mr. Gildarie.
Thank you very much. And yes, good, hard-working, decent folks here in Guyana. And, regardless of the circumstances, we're good people in this country, and we wish good. And generally, there's some bad eggs, and these are the people that would be holding back whatever it is that we would have been seeing. So very quickly, let me see if I could read you some messages. Hi, good afternoon, Leonard. Don't say my name on air. I'm living in the back of the Weather Watch Center for years. I'd be happy if you could get water and light. We using the black water from the swamp, and more times it stinks, and when the rain falls, we don't get any. I think this is the Timeri area. Could you text me and let me know if it's a Timeri area? You said a Weather Watch area. I think it's a Timeri behind the airport there. I need to know. Maybe I could probably send this to the ministers as well. And so it is Wednesday. Please understand that the NFC don't have copies of the law 28.2 during the meeting. No, it's NDC don't have a copy of the law. I think the person's pointing out that the NDC need to get their act together and get the laws whenever they're doing meeting. Hi, Gildarie. Good day to you. I'm from Pomona Housing Scheme. My name is Mona Smith. It is true that this woman, I don't know her name, is acting as if she owns the money given to us by our government. Please let someone in authority deal with this matter. More complaints here coming from the Pomona Housing Scheme there, saying that the lady there is not behaving in a respectful manner. She's treating persons, Guyanese citizens, as if they're second-class citizens here. On behalf of the people of Kaieteur, Essequibo Coast, we want to thank the government of Guyana for the $25,000 cash grant. Thanks to the Ali regime and this Kaieteur, they're saying on the Essequibo. One family but two houses because of the secondary education. I live up the river. My wife lives in Kanji with some kids. Will both get One family with two houses because of secondary education. I live up the river. My wife lives in Kanji with the kids. I don't think this would be. I think this is an interesting situation here. If you're living elsewhere, you maintaining a house. Um, that would have to be asked of the authority. I'm not sure. If it is that you have a family living in one place, that's one household. If you stay in somewhere else, and I don't think you could be able to get two things. That's not how it works. My understanding is that you and your family, whether you stay somewhere else, you and your family, if you're divorced, there's another issue. But if you're one family and although you might be staying temporary somewhere else because of schooling or whatever it is, that's one family. That's my understanding of it. But you probably need to talk to the authorities there. I'm going to try to get some clarification. 226-7453. You tune into the Wake Up Guyana show here on Kaieteur Radio. Do we have another caller online? Yes. Good afternoon. Call you in here. Yes. Good afternoon.
Hi. Good afternoon, Mr. Leonard.
Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
You sound very happy. Something happened. What happened?
Something good coming on now, you know.
Oh, something good? I'm happy. I hope that I get something good. Is it because tomorrow is Yom Nabi?
Yeah.
Okay. What is bothering you or what is making you happy?
Well, we have a problem in our area here that we have two little girls
Where is this?
at farm. But I don't want to call talk to too much because people are listening and I'll go back and tell the grandmother.
All right. What exactly with the two girls and what is it that's happening?
These 2 years, they work late in the night.
How old are they?
They one must be 11 and one must be 12.
Wow.
No, 11, no, yeah, something like that, yes. I think one pass right common entrance already.
That's younger than my little baby.
Yes, so these children, them are abusing their grandmother and abusing their grandfather. And when you tell anybody big talk to them, the way you are doing so late on the road, they started to curse you and pick up brick and pelt your house. This girl them they walk till 9, 10 o'clock on the road. They live down till down by the cedar, and they're out till by the cane juice stand on the road there.
I think you need to call the CHMPA. The Child Care and Protection. I think it's CCPA. You talked to Anne Green?
I did that because I hear a commercial on the radio.
Yes.
And I get the number. But when I call the number 2 times done already, they are telling me that this number is not in service.
No, man. Those numbers are working. I call them all the time. I don't have it at the top of my head here.
I got it 227-0797.
Call them and ask to speak to Anne Green. Tell them that I give you the number. Anne Green is a very approachable woman. She's very strict about these things. She's going to act on it right away.
This girl, Mr. Gildarie, they already sexual active.
No, you see, that's one of the fears that I have. It's not you can't blame the kids. They're below age. People are going to abuse them. What we need to do, we can't blame the girls. They're probably a product of an environment where there was no motivator or how you would say, adults who could probably keep them in line. Can't blame the grandmother. I mean, they're probably old folks. I don't know the situation. What I can tell you, that cannot continue. We need to arrest that right away.
Yeah, because when Sunday afternoon they were out walking, and one of them by where the line by the street head. Tell her that what you all do, why you all don't go home. That I have video about you 2 girls by the roadside at the cane juice stand, gassed boys. They turn and tell the boys that don't worry to we don't got to be man already.
Wow. All right. I need you to start acting right away there. You need to get somebody. Get the telephone directory. I don't happen to have one with me right now. I have to keep one.
I don't have the number that you all give out for the Human Service and Child Care Protection. I mark it down. And I call it to them. The number.
I'm gonna get that number and I'm gonna read it on the air tomorrow.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
God bless, and thank you very much for looking out for the community there.
So I'm also like to thank you very much for the I complain about the gambling and
the police acted on it.
Oh my! Every afternoon the police and they're wrong.
Very good, because I did call and I did harass some police officials. and it wasn't nice. But I told them, don't let me have to ask you back again for it. And sometimes that's what all it takes. But I'm glad. I'm very very glad
Yes,
that
they
happened.
are coming every evening,
Uh huh.
and the road in front of the shop by the last bridge where you go over the creek dam top.
Uh huh.
They are clearing the area, but in the early in the morning, they were still coming and line and buy what I got to buy and
Yeah, yeah, you
gone.
can't stop them. But what you do is try to think, because our society is different. A couple of years back, 30 years back, my mom would be tearing my skin on my grandmother. Nowadays, your grandmother talk to your cousin, the grandmother. That's the kind of thing that's happening. All right, my
And
dear.
I'd
Thank
like
you.
to
Huh?
thank you also, sir, that I'd like to ask. I have three granddaughters, and we don't have our internet, but my neighbor will give them help them with the
When I
internet.
get, I've asked a couple of my friends, and I'm supposed to be doing something in a very short while. When I do that, we normally actually go to the families and we do it. We don't we're not giving in the hinterlands because they don't have internet. It's out here on the coast, and we've been all over. We working hard. As soon as I get that, so I'm gonna make announcements.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And you tuned into the Wake Up Guyana show here with your host, Leonard Gildarie. And we coming to you live from our Saffron Street studio here in Charleston on 99.1 if you're in Esquimalt or Demerara. In Berbice, it's 99.1, 99.5 FM. I want to say good day to the folks down wherever you are in Berbice. I'm very fond of Berbice. But of course, as equal as the rest of the people in Guyana, and wherever you are overseas, whether you're in New York. I see a lot of folks there all over the United States and Canada, in Europe, all across this Caribbean here. They tuned in, and I know many persons all across Guyana listening to us day in, day out. You have made it worthwhile. I was just speaking to the boss's daughter, and she says, you came out during your leave to host this program. Did you absent any day? I said, yes, one day. He said, that's remarkable. She says, that's remarkable. You've been leading the way. I said, you have to get something done. And in any case, if I don't do it when I come back, I'm going to lose all these folks. They're going to leave me and go somewhere else. They're going to be looking at my friend, the critic. I want to say good day to Michael Rodriguez, my dear friend. I hope that you're doing well. And so there were comparisons when people appear here or when they appear him. What is it that he's going to say? A very remarkable fellow, has created a huge gathering for himself. But on this radio here, we bound to keep it in some rules and regulations, or else our license is dependent on that. So we have to, be very respectful. Can't cuss off people like how it is. So I'm gonna buy my friend a drink this afternoon or sometime or the other. I'm not sure. So in the meantime, let me read some more comments here by our good folks in Guyana. It's October the 28th here. Hi, good afternoon. All right. Yes, this is the person they were asking by the secretary in Timiri. I did suspect that. 1:30 today. Okay. Good day, sir. 22 years I'm living in LB. I know good water. Now you have to pay the bills. When are we going to have good water? Thank you very much. What we got to do, look, right across Guyana, all over the place, people are going to be having this impact here. It's not something that happened overnight or happened just right about now under this new government. It's something that's happening. I want to enlighten you. There's a couple of things that we could do. When it comes to our NDC, you have a minister in charge of that NDC. His name is Nigel Darmlal. He's in charge of your city council as well. All the main city councils across, the main council across this country of ours. And you have the Madia, Corriverton, Linden, Anna Regina, Letham, and so on and so forth. Whenever you have an issue with them, send a copy of a letter. We have right now access to internet. Somebody must have internet on the phone, and you write and you say, Minister, so, this person did so. You send videos. It's very, very easy now to do those kind of things, and you would not believe it. When you believe that you could do something very sneakily and it's not coming to light, we know how things could get to light very, very quietly. Transactions that you believe are hidden are protected. You know that somebody's going to leak it out, because when more than one or more than two persons or two persons know, it's no longer a secret. As long as two persons know. If you know, you could keep it a secret because you ain't going to tell anybody. If two persons know, it's no longer a secret. So the lawyer might know a transaction. You could bet your bottom dollar that sometime or the other it's going to get out there. Uh, but at the end of the day, it is the Wake Up Guyana show here, and we thank you very much for joining us today. It's always a pleasure. But you have your power to be able to put these NDCs on notice that we no longer going to tolerate this. You need to improve the service. Do not sit down and believe that Gildarie is going to have it. You need to work too. I'm not saying for you not to call. And if you stop calling here, we're not going to have any show. You need to call. Let us know what's happening. But at the end of the day, you have some other options that you could do too. So you could do a combination of it. Good afternoon, Gildarie. Do you have any information when the COVID-19 assistance of $25,000 would be in Region 3? Thank you very much. And we tune into your radio program as usual every day. I have not received any notice with Region 3 there. As soon as I get it, I am going to pass it over to you folks there. So we go back 226 7453, the tongue twister there. Good afternoon. You're on to Kaieteur Radio. Go right ahead. We go back 226. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Good afternoon. You're on to the radio. Go right ahead.
Hi, Mr. Gildarie. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
I heard a caller earlier speaking about, I think it was loan and so on concerning the government, land them giving out and such to people.
Yes.
Here what? I have a little problem concerning the same government. Well, I got the land years ago when the PPP was first in power before the previous government, since before 2015.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened? I want to know in this country, if you have a difference between self-employed people and people that are employed maybe by company or by government or by somebody. Now, when you get, everybody get land from the government, whether you're self-employed or not. Now, when the self-employed people goes to get a loan, to get through the loan is a terrible case. You don't even get through. And other people goes and get through. So I don't know what's the difference. Now, I went in for a loan maybe like 10 years ago. I did not get through. I get turned down. When I get all the people and spend all the money that I had to spend, I get turned down at the end of it. So I want to know what is the problem by a self-employed person getting a loan.
Well, let me tell you, I can answer that right away. I used to be part of a banking arrangement and so too. I worked there for a little while. In banking, and I did have a mortgage, and I'm glad that I don't have a mortgage anymore. When you're applying for a loan or a mortgage, you must show the ability that you have the ability to generate revenues. And revenues could come either from your salary, or if you have a business, that you have a business that's coming in. So you have to provide maybe a bank statements. You're going to have to provide a income and expenditure statement if you have a business. If you have a salary, your pay slip works. You must be able to tell them that you are going to bring in this revenue. They don't want to give you a mortgage. You spend millions and then they have to seize your property back. And one of the hardest, no banks want to be left with properties. And let me tell you this, there's a big issue right now. The last couple months, the last couple years, in fact, you would have seen a large number of houses and properties being taken over by the banks. That's one of the issues. But you must show that you're creditworthy. I think that's a term that they use to describe it. You must show that you're able to repay. They don't want to give it to you if you're not able to repay. I think you understand what I'm saying here.
Yes, I understand what you're saying. But listen, I have proven all these requirements that they ask for. And till the end of it, then they tell you, oh, because you're a taxi driver, we cannot offer you this loan, or you're not qualified for the loan. Now, why is it they don't tell you in the first place? Because I would have mentioned to them on the very first day that I went in, and said to them, well, look, I am a self-employed person. This is what I do. But I proved to them that I am earning and I could pay back the loan. And I proved to them that the rent that I'm paying, I could pay double the amount on a loan. And by now, I would have already finished paying off a house, because I'm paying rent for the past 14 years. And I could have paid for a house already.
And you tried NBS in a couple of those places?
Well, the bank that I went in was Republic. Now, yesterday I went into a place, I don't want to mention it right away, but they give me a paper for a lot of requirements, but I posed the same question to them, that if I am capable to get this loan, I don't want to go and spend money, and at the end of it, I can't get the loan. Right? So I proved to them the rent that I'm paying is way beyond, because I took a calculation from the girl. I said, calculate so much money and what a month for how many years. And she did the calculation, and the money that I'm paying rent is way above that amount per month that I would be paying the bank.
The only thing that
Onto
I
the
could
place.
think, I understand what you're saying there. The only thing that I could think of is that maybe they're seeing that working a taxi is not such a reliable form of income, because if you crash, I'm not sure how to think. That's the only thing I'm thinking. But if it is that you would have been able to show maybe deposit, say, a bank from whatever it is that you're doing, I can't see why the thing. Well, let me know. I want to know. You see, each one of these places, because of requirements, we don't have. Until I think a couple of years back, it's when the government, I think it was the PPP government, allowed Bank of Guyana to do certain relaxations of certain requirements that we were able to relax the interest rates, that brought the interest rates down from about 13% to about 6% for mortgages. So these are things, I'm not sure what banks are required, but it's a good thing that you have raised there. But I would want you to keep me abreast of when you would have applied through this institution that you've this one that you last mentioned here, and how that went on, and maybe we could have a conversation. It's an interesting question.
Okay, I just want to add a little more. Now, the land that I would have acquired, it's a government land. Now, I took the title to them, and I said, here's the title. You can hold the title, you can whatever.
Did they ask for a guarantor?
No, they didn't ask for guarantor.
Mm-hmm.
But I did walk with the people. It's a government land. I get the land through government.
No, they're not interested. You still have to show that you have the capacity, the capability of paying back that mortgage. And so maybe that is where the issue is. But keep me posted in this particular case, how in this new institution that you would have gone to, how did it all play out? Could you do that?
What I did now is that I have carried the house up to a way out of my pocket. Now, I went into this institution, and I told them, I said, here, the house is already halfway. I just need so much to finish off it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if I'm going to get a hard time again or it's going to go through.
Keep me posted what is happening. I'm interested too.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Thank you very much, dear. So a different topic, a different issue here. So I want to say welcome this afternoon to WR Riaz to the Wake Up Guyana show. And he is preparing for his 3 o'clock show. But in the meantime, it's always a pleasure. Tomorrow happens to be Human Nabi. I understand the boards have whispered to me that you happen to be a Muslim. What can we expect in the studio? I'm working tomorrow. I have expectations.
You will expect me, good afternoon, listeners and viewers. You'll expect me coming into the studio and do my program and then go home.
Okay, that's what we expect. We expect you to come bearing waiters.
Oh, you're looking at some sweets.
Yes.
Oh,
okay.
Now you're making it sound better. Well, I guess you'll just have to wait on that bag delivery hour that gets in.
There's a bag delivery hour?
That's when I arrive.
Well, let's see what happens. In the meantime, we do happen to have our people because it's their voice. Let us see what is it that they've written to us. There's so many messages coming through. Everybody wants. Good afternoon, Gildarie. Could you please tell me the monthly rent for the GT&T landline? I think it's about $500 or $1,000. Is it within $5,000 to $1,000?
Yeah,
$500?
Yes, between there. So VAT was included. So it should go down back to about 500. Yeah.
Yes, I think it's about that. I can't give you. Hi, Leonard. Good afternoon. I was at a meeting, a friend yesterday, and they were showing me the light bill. It have a reading. They're multiplying it by 2. For example, the consumption is 153, and they multiply it by 2. Then the unit, and then the person called the query. They're not doing the query. Is it possible you could give us the PUC numbers? Thank you very much. Could I ask you to give me the PUC? Just check on Facebook. The PUC, I'm going to get it to you in a very short while. Thank you very much. Your voice is fumbling too much. Stay away a little more from the mic. Good work. Keep it up. Let's promote Freddie to the next G-Come cheer. Thank you very much. Gildarie is always open and
yes, we have some numbers.
Yeah.
We have some numbers.
Go ahead, dear.
226-7042, 227-3204, 336, this is Burmese, 336-6077. So those numbers again for the Public Utilities Commission, 227-3204, 226-7042, and 336-6077.
Thank you very much, dear WR Riaz. I think we cut in for a a commercial at the moment, and when we're back, we continue with those messages and, of course, phone calls.
The government of Guyana has begun the rollout of the COVID-19 $25,000 household cash grant. Citizens are being advised that there is no pre-registration requirement. Clearly identified distribution clerks under the supervision of the Ministry of Finance will visit the respective households to verify credentials. Following this exercise, distribution will be done on a house-to-house basis. In cases where there are multiple households in one home, only the principal householder will receive the cash grant in the first instance. However, the other householders will be required to provide their information on a pink form, and following verification, they will receive the cash grant. The $25,000 household cash grant is in keeping with the government's promise to provide economic relief during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Thank you very much. Welcome back to the Wake Up Guyana show here. And somebody is asking, hi, good afternoon. Can the government look into the integrated security service? Money is cut out for NIS, and when you check it out, it's not paid by the company. Another security company here being accused of doing wrong things. Hi, good afternoon, Leonard. I'm living in Puerto Rico and got the $25,000 yes. The people came to our house and gave us the money. Thanks to the government of Guyana. I'm glad to hear that. Puerto Rico. So it looks, let me see if I get that back. Yes, they're saying, okay, good. Somebody is saying, hi, so Puerto Rico has started receiving money. That's East Bank Escobar there. Hi, sir, good afternoon. Somebody need to look into the Puerto Rico NDC urgently. The overseer is there. The overseer is there isn't a fair person. The woman needs to, it's not nice going there, meeting with her at all times. She doesn't know how to talk to people, etc. It's been a while now. It's been about 8 years now. So you guys need to know what you do. You write the chairperson, and of course you could write to the Minister of Local Government, let them look into it. There is also the Local Government Commission that you guys could complain to. Hi, Mr. Gildarie, a very pleasant good afternoon. I must say you're doing a commendable and admirable job. I'd like to sincerely appreciate if you could enlighten the Guyanese people who had to book tickets to go on vacation during the closure of the airport. The airlines are not giving back a refund, and you're being asked to pay more money for a new date. Can you give us some clarity, please? Thank you very much. I'm going to ask what is the situation with this, with the Ministry of Public Works. And this is with the airline, this is airfares that you have outstanding. In the meantime, do we have a call online? Yes, good afternoon, caller. You're in the air. Go right ahead. Yes, good afternoon, caller. You're in the air.
Gildarie?
Gildarie, yeah, that's me. There's a different spelling now, different pronunciation.
This is Gildarie Kaieteur News?
Yes, it is. Go right ahead, sir. You're on the air.
How are you doing, guys?
Pretty good, pretty good. What's happening?
This don't sound like Mr. Gildarie.
It is, it is. I'm not sure how I should be speaking, but you go right ahead. What is it that you want to say to the people of Guyana today?
Hey, Mr. Gildarie, how are you?
Pretty good, sir. We're hearing you loud and clear. Go right ahead.
You sound a little different there today, sir.
I know, I know. You're calling from overseas, am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, what is it that you want to say to the people of Guyana today?
Sir, I've been listening to your program constantly for the last how many months, and I'm very happy that you guys keep reporting the news very independently. But I just want you to know, to let the Guyanese folks know they have to be a little more patient with that $25,000 that they're expecting, you know?
I hear you. I hear what you're saying there. I think the people of Guyana hear you too, that they have to be patient.
It's going to take a little bit for everybody to get that money, you know?
All right. Thank you. And where are you calling from, sir?
No. I'm actually in Zurich right now.
Zurich, that's Switzerland.
Yeah, in Switzerland.
How is it? It's cold there. It's a beautiful place.
It's very cold. This morning I was telling you that the people in Dubai, right, do not allow foreigners to own land, right, and foreigners to have citizenship in their country.
Yes, they're very strict, and many countries have the same kind of restrictions. I think even India, China is a major country that's doing that. Yet China goes to all the countries in the world, and our stupid people, I would say very stupid. I won't use the word stupid. Let me say our very corrupt people because the absence of laws, nobody puts in these laws or anything. They're not interested. Man
But
gives
what
you a
we
million.
need to do, look, let me tell you something. I love my country. I love Guyana. I've left there 47 years ago. You know? And I've never missed a year coming back to that country. I spent the last 4 years in Guyana. The government has to implement some laws to stop the corruption. And the only way they can do that, right, is to stop selling the land to these foreigners and allowing these tycoons, you have these real estate tycoons, to rip off the people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we can't allow foreigners to come in and buy up the country. You know, I'm not against foreigners, but the point I'm making right now, we have an epidemic in the country, right? And we got to take care of the next generation.
That's correct.
The next generation of Guyanese has to be wealthy. They have to be educated and wealthy, you know?
Thank you very much for that, sir. Anything else you want to say in closing?
I need also for the government to start driving around like what the government of Singapore did and pick up all those people in the countries who are not employed and find jobs for them, you know, and wipe out this crime that you have going on down there.
I hear you.
Get these people to work.
What kind of work are you going to put them? Where are you finding the work from?
Houses.
Yeah, where are you going to find them
Well,
from?
let them start building the houses, build self-help houses,
Right.
and get rid of the squatters, you know. Get houses for these people. In Guyana, where you have all this land, people should not be homeless.
I got you there. Thank you very much, sir, all the way from Zurich, Switzerland. Anything you want to say very quickly in closing?
I want to thank the Guyana Water Works, and I want to thank GPL for taking care of my bills when I'm not out of the country. They do a very good job. I actually use the GWI WhatsApp and the GPL WhatsApp, so they do a very good job for me.
Okay, I'm glad that happens for you. There might be some who might disagree
and for
here.
all my Islamic friends in Guyana, inshallah, salaam alaikum, and a happy nabi.
Thank you very much, dear sir. And you too, and thank you for calling all the way from Zurich there. Zurich, Switzerland.
Yes, sir.
Have a pleasant
Bye-bye.
rest of the day. Bye-bye. So it's good to hear from our people there. They're tuned in. They're locked into the Wake Up Guyana show. And let me tell you, the police should enforce social distancing and aware of mask rule by issuing summons to those who don't follow the protocols. Yes, they need to get very, very serious with our people there. So wherever you are, it's the Wake Up Guyana show. We are going to be keeping you company tomorrow on the Kaieteur radio, the Wake Up Guyana show. We are not leaving you tomorrow. We're not taking a day off because it is said that the show must go on, and WRE as the show must go on after this. I think you have something planned for the people after this.
Yeah, the show must go on. Yeah, we're coming up at 3. We'll come up at 3 with some entertainment at the top.
Any
of the
major
hour.
thing that we've missed that you found this morning that bothered you, that ached you, that says, well, what is happening here?
I honestly didn't get the full detail of what's occurred on the West Coast with the bikers, so I may tend not to speak much on it. I saw a release, but I'm still thinking there is another side on that release, and but it's not the first morning that such had occurred. So I wait to see if I could gather some more information before I would like to give myself liberty and express my views on that. I don't know how much you know, but I want to know where else should the bikers ride? Or what do you consider the wrong lane on the bridge when you're closing one lane?
Well, I'm not sure.
I'm a bit...
I'm not sure. I didn't see it.
So I'm a bit not seems... I got some angry messages. I got about 3 WhatsApp voice note asking if I could. I tried to ascertain some information, but I wasn't successful in getting the information to give me a good explanation as to what really occurred there. So I'll try to see if I could get the bottom of it, because I'm sure there is a side that the officers did what they had to do.
Well, let's see. We're going to try to get to the bottom of it.
I'm trying to see if I could get a little bit more reason behind it. That is it. Oh, there was an accident on the East Coast. Nothing too serious. one of the stoplight came on. I got that information only yesterday or the day before, and yesterday a friend of mine told me it came on since last week. Lusignan, the light is on the East Coast Highway.
I heard that.
And there was at least one accident that a friend of mine reported to me. And then another friend of mine told me that he jumped the light unconsciously because he's accustomed of seeing red.
Right.
And when he was halfway into it, his son said, "Dad, the light is red."
Oh my God.
He just had to.
And so you got to be very careful on that road.
So this is Lusignan. The light, I understand, is working on the East Coast Highway. So I encourage persons to please. I'm sure that the others have been blinking for more than a month now, and I've been talking about this a long while. So just look out for whenever those lights will be activated. Because I don't want to foresee, but I would love not to foresee. Let's be cautious.
Yes.
Let's be cautious. That's the way on the East Coast Road. Let's be cautious. I understand one of the lights is on. It's working. Look for the others. I'm sure it'll come on soon.
Thank you very much, W.R. Riaz. And yes, my colleague would have sent me a number for the Child Care and Protection Agency. That's where you call in if you see something that is looking suspicious, and we must all be our brothers or sisters' keeper. Let us see if we see something wrong, especially with our young kids. Let us don't wait. It's better for us to be sorry than not to take any action. When I mean sorry that we got embarrassed because it might not be the situation we think it is. But we take actions because we care in people. So if you want to call the Child Care and Protection Agency, it is 227-0979, 227-0979. And we take a break very quickly now before we head into our final stretch. Thank you very much.
Having a party and don't know where to start? Then contact Afterburner Sun Company for all your table, chairs, tents, and music system rental needs. Contact us today on 326-0391, 644-7829, or 642-6613.
Yeah, so welcome back to the Wake Up Guyana show. We have roughly about 5 minutes or so thereabouts. Tomorrow happens to be Human Nabi, and there isn't any major news except just be very careful on the roadway. The Kaieteur newspaper is continuing to follow two major story, which is the giveaway, the Fleecing of Guyana series with the Kaieteur and Kanji blocks, they're saying, as well as some lands to a PNC, or he's no longer a PNC executive, we've been told, or he is not a PNC executive. What he is he was a major face for the coalition during the recent elections. James Bond allegedly received $1 million for some lands which was leased to him that was flipped. And so the investigations are ongoing there. We're going to continue to pay attention and bring you the details as to that very quickly. Let us see what are some of the things. I'm living in the U.S., Mr. Leonard, for the past 40 years. I need a house lot to build a house. How can I get one without all the red tape? Other than buying it privately from somebody, you have to apply to the CHMPA, Central Housing and Planning Authority website there. There's ways that you fill it out. I think there is going to be reopening of lands eventually for remigrants, and you could be able to do that. You must fulfill the remigrants obligations. Other than that, the only alternative that you have is to buy somebody buy lands or property at commercial rates from or at market rates from somebody who might be selling. So you could apply at the ministry, start with an application process, and then work it from there. As they announce it, you could always apply. Hi, Gildarie, good afternoon. We in Blackbush Poll need a landline phone. Let the relevant people look into it. Yes, I think GT&T should be looking in, or any other companies are looking. Hi, good afternoon. Let me see what I hear. Good afternoon, sir. My mom took the filled the pink form. I'm wondering if you could tell me when she's supposed to receive that money. You did not tell me when the mom filled the pink form for the $25,000. If you give me some indications, where, when, why, how, I could probably be able to give you some other details. So very quickly, could we take, do you have any idea?
A quick thing, I'm not sure on that actually. No, I don't. A quick release for persons. I understand this was a release made just momentarily ago from the Minister of Culture, Youth and Sport, Honorable Minister Charles Ramsden, saying that the Guyana National Stadium will be open for recreational and exercise purposes and this is parts of the stadium, as in the inner. If you've been a regular at the stadium, it looks as the inner road, the road before going on to the actual stadium. This will take effect from November 1st for exercise purposes. Persons could utilize that from as early as 5 a.m. to 6:30 in the afternoon, but they're also calling on persons as a reminder, this is our national stadium. Take care of it and try not to get on. The stadium itself will be closed, as in the stadium in terms of going on to the seated area. This is before the seated area. So when you're coming in from, like, let's say, public road, getting to the second gate, which is the normal turnstile, that inner, after you pass the turnstile, there's that inner track that is going to run you around the stadium.
Yeah.
So you could utilize that for exercise and recreational facilities. Starting from November 1st, this was a release like about a.
Oh, that's pretty good because it's always there. It's our stadium, and I think that's
right.
Good news.
This like about a 20 minutes or there's about Minister Ramsden made that announcement. I'm sure it was talks before. His Excellency President Irfan Ali have already said that yes, it's fine from 5:30 to 6:30, starting on the 1st of November.
Thank you very much, WRES. Good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie. I'm enjoying your program. Hats off to you and your dedication to the citizens of Guyana. There are lots of bribery going on at the GRA office on the Essequibo coast. This needs to be looked at. The rich is getting richer and the poor remains poor. I've just sent this to Mr. Godfrey Stacia, and maybe he could look into it. A very proactive gentleman. Whenever I talk to him, he always says, I'm going to think, and he always does get back to us. Do we have time to take one more call? Yes, one more call. Yes, good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead.
Hi. Good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Gildarie, one thing I want to ask that the government, the president that we have now, he had made a promise to the people that he will try to get jobs for the young people. Mr. Gildarie, you're not fair enough that to know that I got a grandson, he got 9 subjects, and he have to go to security service to get a job.
And where is he living?
He's living in Enmore.
Enmore. And so he has to go, and has he applied? What is his qualifications like?
Well, I can't tell you, but he has 9 subjects. He's very bright. He's all about looking after cameras, electricity, that kind of thing he does do, because he don't have a job. And sir, we know that the president knows his cronies. He knows them, and he promised the people them. Now that a pensioner is working, how that could be fair, man? And then the pensioner is not only working with the government, he's working with a private sector too. You think that could be fair, man? The last time they had a problem where they used to do the same thing, promising the people them. You know, he had promised the school children them $50,000. Nobody can say, me not hear good or other people not hear good. But then he changed them back to 15,000. Now, he believes that people are fools. We have a lot of parties in this country who want to come into power.
And so let me ask you a question, because many times I've been hearing an increasing number of complaints about this. I want to ask you, is it unreasonable to think that I think August, September, October, we're going on to November, which is about 3 months now? September, October, November, 3 months now. Is it reasonable to expect that the president has to deliver within 3 months?
No, well, as we said now, but what we see that he put a chairman at the NDC at Enmore who is a pensioner.
And I think you did raise this issue back a couple of days back. I think you did, sir.
I didn't get nothing. I wanted the president to know that the people them are no fools.
But do you how do you replace a chairperson or so? Do you replace them through elections, or do you just? I don't like Gildarie. Let me remove him. How do we do that? I'm asking.
Well, if you is in authority.
No, but the man was according to if I understand it, almost all the chairpersons, they would have entered office via elections, local government elections. How do you remove them?
Well, according to the age.
No, you can't do that. I'm not sure if there's an age restriction.
No.
How you know why age restriction?
No, you don't. I'm not showing Guyana. This is not a public service job, you know. This is a voluntary something that you go on there, you get a little stipend or something. It is not a paying job.
It's not a paying job?
No, these people, all these council people that say they're the only people that really get, I think, pay is a little NDC office thing like the overseer and so. Maybe if there's a ranger. All these chairpersons and so on. Even my friend Yogma had you gone to the Chronicle board there. If they're not paid a salary, they get a stipend, something very nominal, nothing big.
What are you doing there then?
Well, there's another issue we're talking about here, but we're coming on to program time. But I hear what you're saying there, and this is a conversation that needs to continue. I understand. What is a reasonable time do you expect that the government should deliver on their promises?
Well, anytime, at least before a year, at least.
Right. I understand. I understand your expectations as well there. So thank you very much, sir, all the way from Enmore there. Have a pleasant rest of the day.
Right.
Thank you very much, dear. So you tuned in to the Wake Up Guyana show, and that has been a wrap, dear. It has been a pleasure as always coming to you from our studio here in Kaieteur Radio on Saffron Street, Charlestown. And what we could tell you, if you've missed the show here on 99.1, 99.5, you could also get us back. You could also relook at this program here on Facebook, Kaieteur Radio on Facebook, or Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube. So I want to say thank you very much to the folks in the studio as well as my sidekick for a little while. I'm not sure if I should call him that. I should call him my colleague. I'm not sure. I'm just being wicked with him because tomorrow he's not promised what he's going to bring for Yom and Nabi. But all the best to Riaz, and we do have
Josh,
expectations.
you're not working tomorrow, right?
So
Josh not working tomorrow, so he's
I'm not sure. I can't speak on behalf of Josh. But in the meantime, have a pleasant rest of the day, a peaceful day, a safe day, and tomorrow a peaceful day to you, but we're going to be joining you tomorrow. Until then, I'm your host, Leonard Gildarie. This has been your edition of the Wake Up Guyana show on Kaieteur Radio.